I'll just point out before I start talking too much that yes, I do look exactly the same as I did in my last introduction video. That is because I have filmed them all on the same day, and I'm not going to try and trick you and just change outfits. I'm just going to go with it. So the other day in the January sales, I was having a little look in Hobbycraft. I guess there's an American version of that, but it's just like a craft shop. And I found this. I didn't really know why I wanted it, but I did, so I bought it. And then I met up with my mum afterwards and she said, oh, that's so cool, I want one. But she couldn't be bothered to go back to the shop and get one. So I thought, how hard can this be to make? So I went on Pinterest and found a project of how to make one, and it looks so cool. It looks so easy. I was really impressed with how like limited the supplies you needed to do it were, and I thought I'd have a go at it, so put my heat up. If you want to do this exactly as I have, here is a list of all the things you will need, but let's get going.
Okay, so the first thing I did was I grabbed my sheet of foam board. I got an A3 sheet and I cut it in half to make sure I had two pieces the same size. If you want to make your letter bigger, just use a bigger sheet obviously. And then I just drew out my letter on it. You can either draw it out freehand or use a stencil. It doesn't really matter if you can see the pencil marks, so they'll all be covered when we paper mache it. Once you've finished drawing out your letter, you just want to grab a craft knife and cut it out. If you're a little bit nervous using a craft knife, please ask an adult to help you. Okay, so once you've cut out one letter and you're happy with how it looks, grab a pencil, draw around it on your other piece of foam board, and then cut it out again so you've got two that are exactly the same. So once you've got your letters cut out, you're going to want to start sticking your shot glasses on. You're going to want to use plastic shot glasses and make sure they're not glass, because obviously then your letter will be really breakable. Doesn't matter what they look like, they're going to be hidden. And you're just going to want to stick them down alternatively, so one up and one down. I use this glue a lot. I will leave a link to it somewhere on the screen now. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm just putting a little bit of glue on the whatever side is going to be stuck down, and then sticking one up, one down, one up, one down. Something I didn't really think about when cutting out my letters was that they need to be wide enough to stick on the shot glasses, and mine weren't, but I came up with this quick little hack of how to fix it. So the inside of the D that I cut out, I just cut another strip off it, stuck it along the inside of my letter, and then it made it wide enough. But if you're just a little bit more careful when you're measuring your letter out in the first place, you won't have to do this step. If your letters don't fit perfectly all the way around, it doesn't really matter. The glue that I use gives you a little bit of leeway, so you can just move them. If there's a little bit of a gap, it doesn't matter. And once it's dry, you're just going to want to put a little bit of glue on the top of as many of the shot glasses as you can. It might be a bit tricky. And then just put the D on top and make sure it's lined up. I held it flat on my table just to make sure that it was all lined up with each other. Next, you just want to grab some card. It does not matter what colour because you're not going to see it. And as you can see, I'm measuring my letter up along it. It wants to be exactly the same like size or length or width or whatever you want to call it as your letter. And then you want to cut out quite a few strips of that. I had 4 or 5. And then you're just going to stick it along. I use some masking tape. If you've cut it right, it should be exactly the same size. And then I've just kind of wrapped the masking tape over the sides like this. Then you just want to do that all around the edges of your letter and the inside to make sure that you can't see the shot glasses, and you can just watch for any tips to see how I've done this. I'm just going to take this quick second to say that if you've enjoyed this video or any of my other videos, it would be really, really helpful if you could share them and also subscribe. It really does help me out. Next I'm going to paper mache it, so I've just grabbed some PVA glue. I don't know if there's an American alternative to that. It's just like white craft glue, and I'm mixing it 50-50 with some water. Then you're just going to want to grab an old magazine or newspaper or catalogue, rip out a few pages and cut them into quite thin strips and differing in length. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you how to paper mache, but you just want to dip them, get them really soaked in the PVA glue and water mixture and wrap them around. You want to do one layer, let it completely dry, and then if you want to do another layer you can, but I just stuck with one layer. I did mine in the evening, and when I came back the next morning it was completely dry and ready to paint. I just took it outside with a large sheet of cardboard because I wanted to use spray paint, and just covered it in some bronze spray paint, but obviously do whatever colour you want. I just did one coat of paint, let it dry, and then did another coat. I might have done a little bit of extra decorations afterwards, but because it was for somebody else, they wanted it just painted a straight colour, so that's what I did. So this is the finished item.
So like I said, that was super easy. It's huge, and obviously if you want to make it bigger, the actual pin that I saw didn't use little shot glasses, it used big like proper just like cups, like plastic cups. So you can make an absolutely huge one, but I didn't want it to be that big because she wants to put it on her wall. You can see like where it's been paper mache. I guess if you're good at paper macheing and can do a neater finish, then it will look better, but I'm not disappointed with how that turned out for a first attempt. It's like quite a bit bigger than the one I bought in the shop, and it's so sturdy, obviously because it's just got like solid shot glasses inside it. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. She wants a J now as well, so if that one goes any better I might quickly film it and show you attempt number 2, but I'm happy with how that turned out, and I think it looks really good, and it was a really cheap little DIY and would be a really good gift idea. So yes, hope you enjoyed, have a lovely day, be safe, be happy, be ambitious, and I will see you later.